result of the report, particularly the Women's Parliamentary Caucus. I think it's a very comprehensive motion, and it's a kind of a tapestry of, a framework in relation to the nature of care, the rights-based care, and the kind of the evolution of care. Because at one stage in our kind of history, people that were in care were obviously, institutionalised, and that obviously model doesn't work, and it's more of a kind of community-based care system that we have, and that's a better system, better than what we had in the past. And things have moved on, Minister, but I think one kind of, I suppose, notch in time was the pandemic, and we saw the divides in our health system in relation to if you have, private healthcare or public healthcare, because it didn't really make any difference, because obviously public healthcare was the cutting edge of trying to provide people the way out of the pandemic. And carers play an enormous role in the fabric of life, whether it's paid or not. I was a carer before I came in here, and when my time finishes in here, I'll probably go back to care work. It's extremely rewarding, and the people that you meet in that job and a kind of vocation has taught me a huge amount of not only kind of the people that you deal with, but yourself and the kind of society itself. And as I said, there's carers in all walks of life, people that are paid and not paid and so forth. So that's really important to, I think, acknowledge. And I think in a system that, the capitalist system that we have at the moment, carers can go unnoticed and go unrewarded. And it's not kind of financial rewards that they're looking for, but rewards of kind of just the basics, the very basics of kind of caring. And that can be very arbitrary. And particularly around respite care for carers, I think there's a huge kind of lacuna in relation to those that need respite care. And carers need respite as well. And there is a major divide in relation to those that can avail of respite care, and I think you will acknowledge that. Just in relation to the private sector, and I know the motion acknowledges this, in relation to care work. I mean, 25 years ago, 80% of nursing home provision was run by the state. That is the opposite now. It's 80% private care. And there's I think there's major downsides to that, particularly carers and paying conditions of them carers. There's a serious kind of issue in relation to employing carers. There's a shortage of carers, and there's a reason why that is happening, because it's generally down paying conditions. And I think that has to be acknowledged as well. I want to kind of touch on something that wasn't touched on the motion, is in relation to the scheme of care and repair. I think it's a brilliant scheme, and I think the government should kind of vocalise this a bit more in relation to those that can avail of this scheme. And I've seen it in practice, and it goes under the radar in relation to care. It's kind of very kind of holistic care, and it's very kind of community-based care. And a lot of that and it's not just the care, it's the repair, and that kind of community bond and the human bond, which is extremely important in relation to care. Because care, as it says, evolves into many kind of divides, and that kind of human relationship is extremely important in relation to care work. So, Minister, I think there's huge kind of deficits in relation to care, in relation to those that can avail of care, because all of us could actually, one point in our life, need care, or we could provide care. So it's a rich tapestry of how care can work. But I strongly believe there is a lot of deficits. there's a lot of kind of divides in relation to those that can avail of care. And I think, you know, if there's one thing that we can do as a caring society, and it's kind of it's moving towards a kind of, you know, a rights-based kind of base and around the UNCRPD, which is extremely important. You know, people need rights and they need a kind of a say in actually how they're cared for. So I think that's extremely important in relation to going forward. Thank you.